Normally, there's only one mood in a photo shoot. A photographer doesn't display multiple moods unless they're trying to tell a story. For instance, the set of photos that you guys just seen, they're from my recent photo project about a young man who is visiting an area in which he grew up, and he's embracing the change. And that's why in each photo that I've taken, the mood has significantly changed. You think about changing the emotion, the mood in your photos. Think about the character, model, or the actual person, how they're supposed to feel when you put them in that scenery. So, for instance, I had the young man sitting on a windowsill, and he was in a room, and it looked like he was in some type of abandoned house, in which he was in an abandoned project, and that was supposed to represent his old bedroom that he stayed in, and he was just sitting there just kind of looking and embracing his surroundings and how different it was, and how it's not the same way that he remembered it. It's significantly different. If you look at a picture of him outside of the complex, you'll see him looking like with this kind of mug on his face, but it's not really a mug. It's just kind of like he's just observing, and he's just taking in everything that he sees, everything that is not the same. The area that he once played in, his friend's house, things like that. It's no longer there. It's there's maybe like two little complexes left out of like the maybe 10 that they had. So it's just him really just trying to take everything in. Even when he sits on the step, he's sitting on the step, and he's just really like looking at everything. He's really embracing everything, but he's still trying to get that old connection back to when he was a child. So when you are telling a story through pictures, you have to really pull the emotion through the scenery, through the actual model. So once you have your model down pat, their emotions, and the scenery down pat, then you have everything together. But let's talk a little bit more about scenery, because I have not really talked about scenery. Scenery is extremely, extremely important. Going back to the picture of the young man sitting on the windowsill and also looking out of the window, it raises question. You want your audience to ask questions. Why is he sitting on this windowsill looking at the camera like he is? Why is he looking out the window like he is? And I can answer that question. He's in his room. His room is clearly not the way he remembered it. So he is embracing that change. He's embracing the debris. He's embracing the memories of what occurred in his room when he was growing up, as well as him looking out the window, realizing the places where he played with his friends, or places he used to visit or hang out at, are no longer there. It's just a couple of complexes, and it's bizarre and it's weird because it's not the way that he once remembered it. Even him sitting outside on the porch, he's looking off. He's like, wow, things are different. Things really have changed. Even the headshots or portrait photos of him looking off, it's wow, it's different. You know, that explains his facial expression, the mug. So besides emotion and besides scenery, the edits are extremely important. The edits that I did in these photos was I brought down my clarity extremely to give it that dreamy look, because he is in his thoughts. He is thinking about his childhood, and he's in touch with reality also. So I wanted to kind of give that feel of of him being in reality, as well as being in his mind about, reminiscing about things that he did younger in that area. So when you change your mood in your photos, you, like I said, you really have to think about what are you trying to, what questions are you trying to raise? What are you trying to tell everybody? What do you want your audience to see? Um, you know, a lot of the time, changing moods in photo shoots can often throw off everything. Like, when you edit, Twitter has 4 pictures, right? So let's say you're uploading something to put on Twitter, and your 3 pictures have this solid edit, and that one single picture does not have that same edit, and it throws everything you're doing completely off, right? Now, unless you have like a super explanation, and you know taking these photos, I really wanted to do something with them, meaning like I wanted to make a video about these pictures, but I didn't really have an idea on what should I say about these. And what was crazy is I thought about it, I'm like, hey, you should talk about um you should talk about, changing the moods in photo shoots, because you're telling a story. The mood is not going to be the same when you're telling a story. You have ups and you have downs. You have highs and lows. Any good movie, any good story, and that's what I wanted to portray with these photos also. But changing your mood in photography, like in your photography and your photos, is not difficult. You just have to keep in mind the story that you're trying to tell, the message that you're trying to get across, um, the model, their facial expressions, how they're supposed to feel in that environment, the actual scenery, the environment, what is supposed to be around them. You have to remember to also show the environment, show what's going on, rather than just a nice little portrait of their face, or just like, a backdrop or something like that, unless you do like birthday shoots or just like some professional headshots. But if you're trying to tell a story, the best guess is to actually just put them in a place, and just put them in the place, and display the emotions that you want to be displayed, to raise question to your audience. So that's really all I had to say about changing the mood in your images. So I hope you guys like this video. If you do, thumbs it up. If you don't like it, thumbs it down. If you want to see more of my face, my videos, and the things I have to say, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. More content coming. And I'm out. Peace.